It started subtly. So subtly I almost missed it. I was brushing my teeth one morning, just like any other, when I noticed something odd in the bathroom mirror. My reflection seemed sluggish. When I raised my hand to my mouth, the hand in the mirror followed a fraction of a second later. I blinked. My reflection blinked back, but just a beat behind. I chalked it up to being tired, the kind of morning where your brain hasn't quite caught up with your body. I splashed some cold water on my face and didn't think about it again. But the next day, it was worse. The delay was no longer a split second. It was a full second, maybe two. I waved at the mirror, and my reflection waved back a couple of heartbeats later. It was unnerving. I felt a prickle of unease crawl up my spine. This wasn't just tiredness. I tried to rationalize it. A trick of the light? A problem with my eyes. I even tapped the glass, half expecting it to ripple like water. It was solid, cold, and unyielding. The man staring back at me looked just as confused. But his confusion was always 2 seconds behind mine. Over the next week, the delay grew exponentially. From seconds to minutes, I'd walk into the bathroom, and the mirror would show an empty room. I'd have to wait, standing awkwardly, for my own reflection to finally wander into view. It was like watching a pre-recorded video of myself, always lagging behind. I started experimenting. I'd make a funny face, then leave the room, only to peek back in 5 minutes later and see my reflection still holding that ridiculous expression before finally relaxing. It was surreal, bizarre, and frankly, a little terrifying. What was happening to my mirror? The real turning point, the moment this went from a weird anomaly to pure horror, was on a Tuesday evening. The delay was about 15 minutes by then. I had just finished dinner and went to wash my hands. As I stood there, drying them on a towel, my reflection finally appeared in the mirror, walking into the bathroom just as I had 15 minutes prior. It went to the sink, mimicked my actions. Standard procedure by now. But then, as my reflection was drying its hands, it stopped. It looked up, straight out of the mirror, and its eyes met mine. And then it did something I hadn't done. It blinked, slowly, deliberately, independently of me. My blood ran cold. I stood frozen, my heart hammering against my ribs. This wasn't a delay anymore. This was something else, something separate. My reflection, the me from 15 minutes ago, was acting on its own. It held my gaze for a long moment, an unreadable expression on its face. It felt less like looking at myself and more like being observed by a stranger wearing my face. Then, it slowly raised its hand, not in a wave, but with its palm facing me, as if signaling me to stop or to wait. My own hands were clenched into fists at my sides. From that day on, the entity in the mirror became more and more distinct. The time gap stretched into hours, then days. I'd see moments from my past week play out like a silent movie. Me making coffee. Me watching TV. Me sleeping. But the reflection wasn't just replaying my life anymore. It was editing it. I'd watch as it would pause, tilt its head as if considering something, and then its expression would change in ways I didn't remember. A slight smirk where I had been serious. A flicker of sadness when I had been happy. It was subtly rewriting my own history in its glass world. I started to feel like I was the ghost, haunting my own life from the future. The mirror was no longer a reflection. It was a window into a parallel reality that was diverging from mine with every passing moment. I became obsessed, spending hours just watching. Who was this person? This other me? Where did my reflection go when the mirror showed an empty room for days on end? I tried communicating. I wrote messages on sticky notes and stuck them to the glass. "Who are you?" I wrote in big block letters. Days later, I watched as my reflection walked into the room, saw the note, and then ignored it. It just peeled it off and tossed it aside without a second glance. The feeling of dread grew into a constant companion. I felt watched. Even when I wasn't near the mirror, I felt as if this other version of me knew more than I did, was planning something. One evening, I decided I'd had enough. I couldn't live with this constant, silent observer in my home. I grabbed a hammer from my toolbox, my hands trembling. This had to end. I walked to the bathroom, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm. The mirror was dark, showing a scene from a week ago, my empty living room at night. I raised the hammer, ready to smash the glass into 1,000 pieces to shatter this connection, whatever it was. But just as I swung, the image in the mirror flickered and changed. It wasn't my past anymore. The mirror showed the bathroom, but it was pristine, clean, and empty. Then, the reflection of the bathroom door opened, and I walked in. Not me from the past. It was me right now. I saw my own back, wearing the same clothes, holding the same hammer, and I watched as this perfect, real-time reflection of myself turned around slowly. It had a calm, unnervingly gentle smile on its face. It shook its head, a silent plea. Then, it pointed, not at me, but at the wall behind me, a spoon around my breath, catching in my throat. My own wall was rippling. The solid plaster and paint were shimmering like a heat haze on a summer road. It was becoming translucent, and I could see through it. Into the mirror world, I could see the other bathroom, the other me standing there, his smile gone, replaced with a look of intense concentration. He wasn't looking at me anymore. He was looking past me, at the wall that was now dissolving into a gateway. The two realities were merging. The mirror wasn't a portal into the past. It was a portal that was slowly, methodically, breaking down the barrier between worlds. And my reflection, it hadn't been lagging behind. It had been busy opening a door from its side. And now, I was standing right in the doorway. He lowered his hand, and the wall behind me solidified, but not before I saw what was behind him. A world just like ours, but darker, silent, and filled with countless other mirrors, each one a gateway to another reality, all of them slowly turning on. My reflection smiled once more, a chilling, triumphant smile, and then simply walked away, leaving me alone in my bathroom with the horrifying knowledge of what he had just unleashed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little trip into the strange and unsettling. If you love stories that mess with your mind and make you look twice at your own reflection, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I have so many more twisted tales to share with you. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.